I don't think I've said for a while or reminded you for a while that you should have these notes printed. If you aren't printing the notes, then you are copying all of this down so that you have something to revise from for your tests and your exams. Now, we actually looked at the product rule when we first started talking about roots and radicals. If you look back on that first page, you'll see we said that the square root of a times the square root of a can be thought of as the square root of a times a. So now we're going to look at that root in the other direction. If a and b are real numbers and we have the square root of a times b, we can rewrite this as the root of a times the root of b. This allows us to simplify square roots. Because if I look at the square root of 20 and then prime factor 20, so I have the square root of 2 times 5, I know that my index here is 2, and I have two factors that are the same. I can write this as the square root of 2 times 2 times the square root of 5. Well, we know the square root of 2 times 2. That equals 2. We're left with a root of 5. So you see, we're simplifying radicals. We're not changing them to decimal form, but we're taking out all of the factors where there are 2 the same because our index is 2. So let's use the product rule here and simplify the square root of 24. We're going to prime factor. Our index is 2. That means we're looking for 2 factors that are the same. So we can think about this as the square root of 2 times 2, which we know equals 2, times the square root of 2 times 3, or 6. The index is 2, so whenever we have 2 factors the same, we can take it out. Remember that property. The square root of a times a equals a. We have 2 factors that are the same. Let's look at the square root of 45. Two factors that are the same. This equals 3 root 5. Pause your video, try questions 3 and 4. Question 3, we have 2 factors of 2 that are the same. This leaves 2 root 7. Question 4 was more tricky. Did you get it? 2 factors of 2 and another 2 factors of 2. And we're going to multiply these. 1 factor of 2 left inside the radical sign. This equals 4 root 2. What about question 5? When we prime factor 33, we see it's 3 times 11. There are not 2 factors the same. There's no simplifying to be done here. This is simply equal to the root of 33. Pause your video, simplify numbers 6 and 7. We're looking at the square root of 162. Our index is 2. We're looking for 2 factors that are the same. We have a group of 2 3s. We have another group of 2 3s. Gives us 3 times 3. And there's a factor of 2 left inside the radical sign. This simplifies to 9 root 2. 300. I see a group of 2 factors of 2, 2 factors of 5. So we have 2 times 5 and a factor of 3 left inside the radical sign. This simplifies to 10 root 3. What about question 8? It's the square root of negative 180. This has an even index. That means there is no real solution. We're not going to worry about the imaginary solutions. Pause your video now and simplify numbers 9 and 10. I should say that I know some of you can simplify these without prime factoring, and that's fine. But most of us need practice prime factoring, and most of us need help with bigger numbers. So I'm always going to prime factor. When we look at the square root of 54, I see 2 factors of 3 that can be taken out. We have factors of 2 times 3, or 6, left inside the radical sign. Question 10, the negative square root of 250. Well, I know that that's going to be a negative answer. We have a negative outside. 2 factors of 5 that I can take out. And we're left with 2 times 5, or 10, inside the radical sign. Again, make sure you practice simplifying these types of questions before you head on to the next video.